I put God above me. Besides that, there's no one better than me.
Like, people have a lot of guilt. You know, there's a line of social psychology that claims that most people feel that they're better than other people. And like, I just don't buy that. That isn't what I've seen in my life. And maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm a clinical psychologist and I see more people who are overtly suffering, maybe, than people do in general. Although I'm not so sure about that, you know, because you don't have to scratch very far beneath the surface of most people's lives before you find something truly tragic. And I don't mean the sort of tragedy that you whine about. I mean, you know, your mother has Alzheimer's, or your best friend committed suicide, or you have a close relative with cancer, you have a sick child, or, you know, there's something wrong with you, because almost everyone has at least one really terrible thing wrong with them. And if you don't, hey, you will. So, you know. So, you know, that tragic sense of being is there with people all the time. And it's also the case that in my experience, like, I rarely meet someone who says, hey, you know, I'm doing everything I possibly can, I'm a hell of a guy, and I can't see how I could possibly improve, you know? You meet someone like that, you think they're narcissistic, right? And you're right. But most people don't feel that way. They feel like they could do a hell of a lot better than they are, and they're quite acutely aware of their faults, and they don't feel that they're what they should be. And you see, what happens in the story of Adam and Eve as well is that when people become self-conscious, at least that's how it looks to me, they get thrown out of paradise, and then they're in history. And history is a place where there's pain in childbirth, and where you're dominated by your mate, and where you have to toil like mad, like no other animal, because you're aware of the future. You have to work and sacrifice the joys of the present for the future constantly, and you know you're going to die, and you have all that weight on you. And to me, again, that's just, how can anything be more true than that? That's just, as far as I can tell, that's just how it is. Unless you're naive beyond comprehension, there's something about your life that is echoed in that representation. And why it is that, I mean, we're such strange creatures because we don't seem to really fit into being in some sense.
I put every Navy SEAL on a pedestal. It's easy to do. You read the books about them, you see movies about them, superhuman. But what happens is, once you drop your own limitations, so one thing we do bad in life is we put all these people above you. Never put anybody above you, man. Make it an even playing field. But you can't make it an even playing field if you're not working your fucking ass off. I'm not saying not to respect people. You gotta respect people. But if you're playing tennis, right now there's tennis going on here in Queens. If you're playing tennis and you're playing Roger Federer, even Roger Federer's not here right now, but let's say you're playing Roger, best ever, arguably best ever. But I'm fucking good at tennis. But Roger's the best ever. That's in my fucking head. And we're playing a 5-set match, Grand Slam. Before Roger serves the ball, the first serve of the game, first serve, set 1, game 1, first serve. In your mind, you're thinking, man, that's the best fucking person in the world to serve. This is how I thought about Navy SEALs. So what happens is, 2 sets fly by. Roger fucking smokes you 6-0, 6-0. Or 6-0, 6-1. You're like, wow, man, I can play with this motherfucker. But by the time you realize you can play with Roger Federer,
Too late.
it's too late. So that's what I mean by that. Don't go into any competition of life, physical, mental, emotional, whatever it may be, too late. You got to try so hard. Know that you've worked hard as fuck, to be on an even playing field. So I did that. So once I did that, your eyes open up. So now you don't see Roger Federer as Roger Federer. You see him as a fucking tennis player. So now you're competing on the first serve. So you give yourself a chance to win. So when I went to Navy SEAL training, after my first Hell Week, second Hell Week, third Hell Week, I said, man, I can compete with these guys. Not only compete with them, I'm going to go another level. Because I started seeing, I put these guys and a lot of people on a pedestal. But it also hurt me. It hurt me too. Because when you put people on a pedestal, you expect people to be at a certain level. So I was living off of, wow, all these mythologies of what a special forces guy is. You get up, you don't sleep, you run on broken legs, I'm just like, I really fed into all that shit, man. So it actually helped make me who I am. But I started looking around, seeing, man, these are really, a lot of them are normal fucking guys. And that disappointed me, but it shouldn't have. My expectations were of myself. I was grouping everybody. So that's where I realized being uncommon amongst uncommon, it's really about yourself. It's you against yourself. It's not you against them. But it sounds like that because really these guys are uncommon. Once you become a Navy SEAL or whatever you become, a big CEO, you're now common again. So everybody looks at these guys as uncommon. But once you become one, we're all guys again. We're all in the same group of guys. We're all in the same fraternity. So how do you separate yourself from the best? You're going to piss some people off when you do that. Because they all think, whoever CEOs, special operators, fucking athletes, they all think they're the fucking best. They're all alphas. Females, males, all alphas. So once you get in these groups, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to be like you. I want to be better than you.
You want to push yourself even harder.
I want to put all this shit to fucking shame. Not to put you down, but there's another level, man. I want to keep evolving. I saw these Navy SEALs before I became one. My God, they're better than me. They're better than me. I gave up 100 sets. And I had to work up to realize these are human beings with the same shit I have. Yeah, there's some people who run faster, swim better, but mentality is mentality. There's no, you're not going to outwork me, so I'm going to catch up somewhere. So that being said, I used all that 300-pound man, that fat guy, that dumb guy. And people say, why you say dumb? You have to be real with your fucking
raw.
self. If you're not smart, you're fucking dumb, but you can become smart. You can become smart. It's not a permanent tag.
Yeah.
You're dumb forever. You're fat forever.
Yep.
No, be raw. Don't find the cushy word. So what I did with all this stuff is I realized, okay, here it is. This is what you are, David. But now check this out. And this is what's funny about this. This is not a lie. I don't bullshit. I used to bullshit all the time. I don't give a fuck who likes me. This book right here, I sat back when I was 300 pounds. So my strength was this. So this was funny. I swear to God on this. I sat back and I was like, my God, I'm able to visualize years beyond where I'm at right now. How are you going to feel if you can pull this off? When I got the idea to become a Navy SEAL at 300 pounds, hate the water, can't run down the fucking block, horrible. And I put everything on that. My whole life was, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL come hell or high water. Who does that? The hardest thing in the world, I'm going to put on that. You got to commit to it.
You got to commit.
You got to put everything on yourself, which is why I self-published. And that's why I'm so glad it's number 3 behind Michelle Obama. Because guess what? Everybody, there you go. I self-published. But anyway, back to the power of it all was you got to sit back and be able to imagine where you want to be and be like, that's the power. If I can pull this off, what kind of story have I just created? What if? A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I start to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if I can be that guy that people who call nigger and this and that, and now I'm speaking at Tom Ferry's fucking event. What if? That's it.